calling the World Series trophy a piece of metal. I mean, I don't know if the commissioner's ever won anything in his life. Maybe he hasn't, but the reason every guy is in this room, the reason every guy is, working out all off season and showing up to camp early and putting in all the time and effort is specifically for that trophy, which, by the way, is called the commissioner's trophy. So for him to devalue it the way he did yesterday is just tells me how out of touch he is with the players in this game. And, at this point, the only thing devaluing that trophy is that it says commissioner on it.
The Astros cheating scandal really hit spring training in a big way when Mike Trout said something, and he said it right off the bat. He talked to you too, Jose, and it was a really big deal. We've never heard Mike Trout talk out like this. What do you think the effect of that was?
Liz, I had never seen Mike Trout come out and just with this expression on his face be so motivated to say what he felt. And I applaud him. I'm proud of him because he speaks for a lot of guys. But when the best player in the game, carrying the big voice and a lot of weight, speaks like that, he's talking to everybody that knows there was not an even playing field.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of this for you right now.
Like I said, I lost some respect from some guys. Obviously, a lot of stuff that comes out, you got to see if it's true or not. Obviously talking to them, and I'm sure I'll see them throughout the season just to. Like I said, just all the stuff's coming out. It's tough to see.
Okay, so coming off that, he said that he was friends with a couple of the Astros players and that he lost respect for the Astros players, specifically Alex Bregman and his friend, because when he won the MVP over the winter, he tweeted out this: "To be acknowledged alongside great competitors like Alex is an incredible feeling." You got to imagine that he really must feel hurt. And he said some of them have reached out to him. Have you talked to him about that?
Well, he knows that the importance that, the game, when it's being played fairly, you want to go out there and compete and see where everybody stacks up. And I thought Alex Bregman was going to edge him for that MVP because, remember, Mike Trout lost a lot of games towards the end with that injury.
Right.
And I'm going, man, this could lean in that direction because Bregman has tremendous numbers. I am so glad he didn't win the MVP because this would have been a totally different thing we're talking about now with the Astros and Bregman winning an MVP, and who knows what was going on in 2019 with the Astros and the cheating. But my goodness, Mike Trout did say that Astros players reached out to him after the whole thing started coming out, and I respect the fact that he said, I'm not going to name any names, but I'm quite sure some people are going, let me reach out to Mike Trout just to go explain what happened. But overall, I'm glad that he took a stance, and I don't think overall he's lost respect for the person, but more like respect to what they did and how those numbers were accomplished.
It's an interesting thing what he said. Listen to what Clayton Kershaw says about all of this.
We heard Mike Trout talk yesterday, and to hear that you've lost respect from the best player in the game, like that hurts. That hurts. And so I think the message is getting sent loud and clear that this is unprecedented. This type of thing is never happened before, and people are upset by it. People feel cheated, and rightfully so.
Kershaw's certainly grateful to Trout for saying something, because if we look back at that 2017 World Series, part of Kershaw's legacy is he has played poorly in the postseason. In that World Series, he gave up leads.
And think about this. He has struggled against many teams, in the playoffs, but the Dodgers gave him a 4-run lead to begin with. Astros bounced back. Then they gave him a 3-run lead.
In Game 5 this way.
And they bounced back right away. So, you know what? He's got a reason to go, no wonder that, whether if I was tipping or not, but they did have an extra edge.
You know what? And it's no wonder we're getting reaction from Cody Bellinger and Justin Turner. Let me play that.
I thought the apologies were whatever. I thought Jim Crane's was weak. I thought Manfred's punishment was weak, giving him immunity. These guys were cheating for 3 years. I think what people don't realize is Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 17. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us. I know personally I lost respect for those guys. I would say everyone in the show, in the big leagues, lost respect for those guys. I don't know what human hits a walk-off home run against Aroldis Chapman to send your team to the World Series. And one has the thought to say, don't rip my jersey off, but two, go in the tunnel, change your shirt, and then come out and do your interview. Like that makes no sense to me. It makes zero sense to me because I know me. Gary Sanders said yesterday, you can rip my shirt off, my pants off. I set my team the World Series off for Aroldis Chapman in the ninth inning at home. You can do, I'm going crazy.
Obviously, as the report showed, as all these guys from their club over there are coming back and apologizing and, trying to make amends for it, it's pretty evident to me that it wasn't earned. And it's not something that, a banner should be hung in their stadium. A trophy should be put up wherever their trophies go. They shouldn't have a World Series championship is earned, and it defines careers.
I mean, that type of reaction, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, said he was surprised players were going after other players, like what Cody Bellinger did. But when you stop and look at what went on, and they're banging on garbage cans, can you blame the Dodgers?
You think about another time in the history of the game where players were publicly criticizing other players. It doesn't happen. I mean, they're so strong in their union and the way they get along, and a lot of them share the same agents. I've seen guys with the same agents have just different views on this whole thing, which never happens in baseball or any other sport. But I'm glad. They know what they're defending is the integrity of the game, the hard work that's put in to be successful, how lucky you have to be and fortunate you have to be to get those breaks. But overall, they're reacting the right way. These are guys that are in pain and are hurting also not because of them in championships, but because of other teammates. Some guys are not on teams today because perhaps one bad outing. Some guys got sent down or traded because of one outing that could happen against the Astros, and that's just not fair at all.
Mike Bolsinger, the pitcher who once played for the Dodgers, as a matter of fact, said that's exactly what happened to him. Do you remember back in Game 7? Dodgers fans are so familiar with Game 7, and it's this name, Yu Darvish, that set them off. But now Yu Darvish is completely different light. I remember when we were doing those games, you and Steve Garvey were there as our analysts, and you said it. You said they know something. This is ridiculous. The game was over by the second inning. It was 3-0. Astros had Darvish. They had him.
And here's what I was thinking. Boy, he's tipping a lot because I knew Darvish had a reputation. He was with the Rangers, so I knew. I could see it sometimes myself from the booth when he was tipping pitches. Now, his stuff is so good that a lot of times it didn't matter. But in that Game 7, I'm going, my God, they have every pitch. And the biggest indicator to me, Liz, is not only the swings, but the pitches they take. You're like, how is he laying off that pitch? And then you see the timing with the hands and the body and the rhythm at home plate with fastballs at 95, 96. So you're like, goodness, they're on everything. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt. As a former player, I can tell you that if somebody's tipping, you find a way to go, okay, here it is, fastball, sit on it, and something's going to be right, other things are going to be wrong. But it was just amazing to me. Now we know why, obviously. But there's also a way in which if you are making pitches, quality pitches, sometimes the guys know what's coming. But you have to be so good every single pitch to avoid damage, and Darvish was not able to do it.
You know, you've been to that ballpark, the Astros. I was the Astros during that World Series.
And it's
right?
loud, huh?
It's loud. And they put us way out. We were way out in the outfield. There's no way we would have ever heard the banging on the garbage can. Did you ever notice anything in all the times you've been there? Did you ever notice anything over the years?
Nothing, but I'll tell you something that I haven't told anybody yet, but I'll tell you because you're my, October buddy.
That's right.
We got a memo about 4 years ago, not wanting us to be, as broadcasters, visiting broadcasters around the Astros batting cage in BP. And I just found that it's, okay, they probably don't want us to be watching, what guys approach or talking about it. But in the meantime, I have a lot of guys that are friends of mine on that team, and they're like, hey, Jose, come on, I want to talk to you. I'm like, dude, see this rope right here? I can't go past it.
What would they have given up during BP,
now, think about maybe they were testing a system. I don't know. But why wouldn't you want this regular practice? As a broadcaster, you go out there and watch BP. I'm not one of those that's going to be leaning against the cage, but I want to watch the other team hit. I want to see the approach.
I'm not allowed up to the cage. No, they'll let
they can be
you
close
guys
enough,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just be close enough. But they're like, we don't want any broadcasters from any team to get past this rope, so we're roped off. So I have guys, Jose, I want to talk to you. Come here. I'm like, I can't do that. I want to say it's about 3 or 4 years ago. So when this all came out, I'm going, oh, wait a minute. What was going on back then that they didn't want anybody in that area? What was being tested?
And you know what? They put us way out in the outfield in the 2017 World Series, but there's often times in the postseason they send the media way out into far out reaches. But there certainly would be no way we would have ever heard any kind of banging on a garbage can. But that's why I'm asking you. Did you ever? There's caught on videotape.
No, nothing. I never heard anything. All I know is there's some whistling going on too. And Yasiel Puig talked about this. Like one time he's playing the outfield going, all this whistling, what is going on? He's looking at Bellinger and all the guys on the field, and Jock Peterson going, dude, this is not coincidence, just like a cheer type of whistling. This is, one whistle, two blows, and then the hit comes, and what kind of pitch it is. So, exactly. There's ways in which I'm all for it. If a guy's tipping, it's fair game, okay? Don't use technology or electronics. If you can help a teammate, why not? It's been done since the game was invented. But, they went way too far to disrespect the game and to take it to a level where there's no way they're going to be matched.
I really like Yu Darvish's reaction during spring training, and here it is.
The spirit feeling is like Olympics. Like when players cheat, you can't have a gold medal, right? But they still have a World Series title. That makes me feel like weird and that's it. But one more thing, the Korea talking about Bellinger, I saw that yesterday. But so they cheat. I think so right now they don't have to talk. They shouldn't talk like that right now.